Hello friends, back again with another of the 150 reads. If you don't know what I'm doing, basically I have a lot of books and everyone has that big stack of books that they intend to read but never really get to, so this is my means to get through my stack. I've made a list of 150 books, and this is 2 of them that I've been getting through. So this month I read 2. These are the ones I read. So I read Parnassus on Wheels and Killing of a Whale by Farley Mowat. Parnassus on Wheels by Christopher Morley was one that I've been told to because I'm a bookseller, and this is kind of like the novel for booksellers. Basically the plot of it is kind of an eccentric bookseller has a bookstore on wheels on a cart. That's the Parnassus, meaning a collection of literature, basically. And he brings it around to like farms and small towns and things like that. And this kind of middle-aged woman who's just kind of a farm wife or sister, and her brother is a writer, and so she feels kind of left out on the adventures and decides to buy this Parnassus, this bookstore on wheels, and kind of take it on an adventure. Literally just her taking this cart and kind of going to the town, and then people not wanting her to go, and so kind of almost proto-feminist in a way, I guess. Just kind of a farm woman just kind of wanting to live the life for herself. Definitely revels in the love of books and the desire to kind of put them in people's hands, so I really kind of identified with that quite a bit. I thought it was great. So if you're just kind of want like a charming little read, little novella, all these great, I think I have a bunch more up here, these novellas from Melville House. It's a great little series. Most of them that I've read from them have been pretty good, so this is among them. There is a sequel, The Haunted Bookshop, which I have in the piles, and I didn't put that on my 150 list because I wanted to get through this one first, but now that I've read this, I can get to the other Christopher Morley about books. So as a book lover, bookseller, I had a good time with this one. And then I also read Whale for the Killing by Farley Mowat. And first of all, how good is this cover? This is almost the reason that I really needed it in the collection, was to have this guy going. Whale for the Killing. A little more, I don't know, are people reading Farley Mowat these days? I definitely had to, was reading like Owls in the Family as a youngster, but I don't even think kids in Canada are reading that type of literature anymore. But this was actually really great for sort of like an insight into a Canada of the past. So Farley Mowat, the plot is, Farley Mowat, or it's not even a plot, it's non-fiction. Farley Mowat moves to this small town in Newfoundland and kind of wants to immerse himself in the Newfoundland lifestyle and sort of kind of in a fishing community, and tries to become a part of this community. And this whale ends up inside this kind of inlet. They call it like a pond, and because when the tide goes down, the whale remains stuck in this inlet, and so can't get out for like about a month. So when this happens, a couple of the locals start taking pot shots at this whale as it crests, comes up for air, and Farley Mowat, being the staunch environmentalist that he is, decides to come to the rescue of this whale. And it's kind of more than just like a tale of in like an environmentalist trying to save the day. It's a little more to do. It has kind of themes of kind of outsider insider stuff. So the town, while feeling for this whale, also kind of resent this outsider coming in and kind of telling them how they should live and how their town should function and how they should be treating the ocean life, as they have been fishing for hundreds of years, and their families have settled there for a long, long time. The end in this is in itself, it tells you what happens. It's a killing of a whale. So kind of just from the cruelty of these, not even hunters, because they're just truly just out for sport, and they end up, these bullet holes that they put in this whale end up becoming septic and eventually kill this whale. Certainly more of a call of preservation of our animals. So yeah, even just kind of going through the history of whaling and stuff like that, it's made very clear that basically we've created these endangered species on the earth, and the book has kind of convinced me that I'm not a big fan of whaling. So the kind of romanticism of Moby Dick is no longer there. Not that it ever was, obviously. If you've read Moby Dick, sort of a fool's errand in Ahab's endeavors. I thought it was very, effective. Definitely would read more Farley Mowat. I don't know if it's just like passe these days, but I thought it was strong. So, I enjoyed both of these this time. All right, so with that, that's 5 down of that 150, so slowly making progress. So I only did 2 last time, but I think I might do 3 this time. So let's hop on the randomizer from my list and see what comes along.
Bridge of Birds, Barry Hughart. Crazy Cat, J. Cantor. Our Lady of the Flowers, Jean Genet.
So the stack for the next month or so, we've got Barry Huart's Bridge of Birds. What I know about this is that you get a lot of high fantasy that's about, dealing with Greek myth or, Scandinavian myth that, most of our fantasy is influenced by, like, Tolkien and the things that influenced him. Whereas this is a fantasy novel set in China, so it kind of really takes from a whole different set of mythology, and it's been on the list for a while. Basically, it's just like novels that are unlike anything else, so I've had this one waiting for a minute, so excited to get to this one. Our Lady of the Flowers by Jean Genet, something that I've had, it's kind of an embarrassing hole in my reading knowledge. I've been intending to get to all the Genet, and finally this is the forcing to get to it. So this one in particular I don't know much about. I kind of know a little bit more about Thief's Journal. I know it's very lush and lyrical and very gay, so I'm excited for that. And then Crazy Cat by J. Cantor. I've been told something of a hidden gem. Obviously it's long forgotten and out of print. But it's a novel based around the 20s and 30s comic strip of the same name, Crazy Cat and Ignatz Mouse. So interesting to kind of take a not forgotten, because there's Fantagraphics reissues of them that are gorgeous. So if you can track those down too. I sold the ones I had in the shed. And thanks everyone for joining me on this adventure of getting through that list. I'm encouraging you to get through your lists as well. I don't know, this method's working for me. I think it's kind of kept me motivated. I've got the internet to hold me accountable, but hopefully you're getting through your stacks as well. Happy reading. Where for the killing, dirty little secret, music for the gathering.